When I got the call and said, you've been offered the part of the stage manager in our town, my first thought was not, ooh, I'd be good at that. My first thought was, I'm going to say yes, no matter what happens.
I'm so lucky I get to come to Grover's Corners 6 days a week.
I'm up there with these phenomenal people.
You come into the room and you see people of all backgrounds.
We're not playing to the specifics of the New Hampshire accent.
I'm literally doing Detroit Southernisms, and the play is so sturdy and so human that it can hold all that difference.
Wilder, with brief strokes, manages to create these very rich and full characters.
I really feel that the stage manager is always half Thornton Wilder and half whoever is playing the stage manager.
Mrs. Gibbs is the matriarch. She's everyone's mother.
She gets great satisfaction and joy from nurturing her family.
He has a great affection for the town, but he also, as any newspaper man would, he has a little distance from it as well.
Simon's a little bit of a loner in this town because he just is done with it.
She traditionally has always been considered the town gossip, but she loves her community.
I'm there at the beginning, and I've just delivered these 2 new souls on this planet, and at the end of the night, I'm saying goodbye again to my wife and my daughter-in-law. It's just the entire circle of life that I get to experience every night.
The thing that just jumped off the page for me was just how big his heart is. He's a normal teenage kid, but the thing he wants most out of life is love and family.
I found her to be very bright and ambitious and beautiful and slightly neurotic, actually quite modern, which is interesting given when it was written.
It was our director, Kenny Leon, who said, I want everyone in this room to bring a lot of themselves to their characters.
Kenny just kept saying when we were in rehearsal, if you're getting too far away from yourself, you're doing it wrong.
We're all in it together, and it does give that sense that this is all a community. Every single show, it's a new community. And that, I think, is very powerful.
The play really relies on audience imagination. And I think that one thing the sound does is immediately force the audience to start imagining. I think the most surprising thing audiences will see at this production of Our Town is the opening.
There's always someone who's like, man, when you started that show, I'm like, whoa, where are we?
The show starts with some religious music.
A song that incorporates Muslim, Jewish, and Christian faith called Braided Prayer. It was really important for Kenny to mirror our world, to bring then and now and ram them into each other and just see what happens.
I think that's such a beautiful moment to bring us into Our Town.
Well, as I said, it's about dawn.
Sound serves as timestamps. Each of the acts, we kind of start the same way, hearing clocks at the same time, hearing Howie the milkman arrive at the same time.
Morning, Doc! Morning, Howie!
They highlight the cyclical nature of living. The challenge is audience on stage. For the audience in the house, they need to get their experience and the storytelling from the sound. The audience on stage needs to get that too. One of my goals is for all the speakers to kind of disappear. For example, there's a night scene and crickets and cicadas are in the air. And you know they're there initially, but for me, they kind of disappear at some point.
You feel the night, you feel the rain.
And you're just in this space with these people in their world.
Everything supports the experience of feeling transported.
To me, it's just making that kind of magic happen and the tech disappear. We have an actor that is deaf and put a speaker on him so that they could feel the vibration when songs start and end. I love to be able to support that actor in that way. Just show what the world actually is and can be.
I really think of the entire cast as one large painting with different hues and colors and highlights and lowlights. We need that reminder to just slow down sometimes and see each other. I was fascinated by Kenny's approach to the play.
When I saw some of the initial casting, it was as though Kenny had taken 2 blocks of Manhattan and moved it to Grover's Corners.
As a costume designer, it really is just like taking it all apart and saying, okay, at the core of this piece, what's most important? What do I want to come through from each character? And then I just sort of like start chipping away at it.
The costumes are wildly eccentric and inclusive. My costume is my character. I put it on and I look in the mirror and there he is.
Once I see it all on stage and I see what level are the costumes at, then I do my best to match so that we're creating a very cohesive person.
I do love to just capture the essence of the actor into the piece so it feels natural when they're wearing their clothes.
She was open to the idea that Mrs. Soames might have a little style.
Just allows you as the actor to kind of dive a little deeper to get in there.
Almost every single piece in the production is actually a modern piece that was shopped and altered.
All my wigs are sort of not quite in the same decade. All the haircuts on the guys are from all over the place, 1920s all the way to 1980s.
I feel like I hold a lot of the period, even though it's a Diane von Furstenberg dress, but there's a quality to it that's very old-fashioned.
I have a lot of favorites. I'm thinking of Brianna's costume that we did like an inserted pleat moment. Willa has on this linen jacket that I modified with denim. And I love the hats that the mothers wear because it's just like a slight nod to a different time.
There's a certain relaxed formality to it.
There's Jim, and I think it felt important that he was a reflection of someone we knew. He's human like us, and he's gonna take us on a journey.
And that feels right for this production. It's not a big deal. We're not overly formal here. It's just life.
There's nothing like just going on the journey and allowing like the piece to move and shape and find you as you find it. And I like to leave a little bit of room for that. And so it's quite joyful.
There aren't many plays in the American canon like Our Town.
I was actually nervous.
People do know it, and sort of the cliche of it, of course, is that it's an empty theater with 2 ladders on stage.
It's so stripped down, it's so bare.
It's all about your imagination.
It's so intentionally simple. It leaves so much room for the audience to project their own stories onto us.
I pitched to Kenny the idea of having 2 windows in the back wall instead of the ladders, because it just sort of nudges the expectation a little bit.
I love the sort of subdued colors.
The color palette really comes from this sort of sitting on your old weathered back porch idea.
The lights kind of make the scenery.
It describes the spaces individually so beautifully.
When it's supposed to be a street, I create a pathway for that.
Kenny is very much saying that this is not just a little town in New Hampshire, this is the whole world. The reason I put audience on stage is wanting the audience to also be physically part of our town.
I frequently am at those edges where they're sitting, watching the scenes myself. I love it when we all kind of chuckle at the same part.
Our set is incredible, and you know, you look up and you see all these lanterns.
I think there are 218 lanterns.
The lanterns kind of like just popped into my head.
They're a challenge to shoot through.
All these lanterns are in the way of where you would normally shine spotlights. We had to build a whole grid out over the audience that doesn't exist in this theater. For what is ultimately kind of a simple gesture, it was technically quite complicated to get worked out.
And it illuminates it in such a mysterious way.
Yeah, I see them as stars, I see them as our ancestors.
If you look up at them, it's a big question mark.
And then that incredible wall goes up.
And the wall lifts away to reveal the gravestones.
And then you see more of those lanterns.
I love the lighting for that.
I was like, oh my God, I can't watch this again. It's way too powerful.
That moment between Act 2 and Act 3 where the physical world recontextualizes, I think is my favorite moment in the show. It's also the moment where the set is doing something.
The joy of being in a play that is so life-changing and life-affirming is what theater is all about.
To me, the play is about our relationship with time.
It's about community and how we all depend on each other.
It's about those little things, those little moments, and how we don't stop and experience and savor them.
The reminder at how easy it is not to stay present.
Time, time, time. That is the central theme to me. We're gonna take this time to sit in this room and learn something about each other.
It goes so fast.
Faster than you could possibly understand while you're living it.
And nobody is able to appreciate every minute.
So forgive yourself, because you're not going to. That's not how we're built.
I started to think about how I spend time with my family and what do I take for granted. And yeah, I want to call my mom right now.
My grandmother was in her last days right before I started rehearsals for our town. And I remember walking into her hospital room and shutting my phone off and removing anything else that I felt was gonna distract me from every second I could grab with her, every breath, every minute, every blink and eye contact we could have.
This is the most important moment of my life because it's now. It's not tomorrow, it's not yesterday, it's now.
Enjoy it, appreciate it, engage with it. Don't be asleep.
When you go out the stage door, everybody's still drying their tears.
Even in the mundane parts of life, it is still so beautiful and fleeting.
Seeing George sitting at the grave crying, I was like, that's me.
For older people, when they come backstage and they talk to us, it's so moving because they know that the road is narrowing.
There's a lot more in the rearview mirror now. So I take the messages of the play to heart.
I think you have to try pretty hard to watch this play and not have a desire to immediately connect better with people.